Hello, everyone. This is James Song here. I hope you're well. We have a reading lecture today for the TOEFL test. So let's start right away. As you can see on the screen here, the title of the passage we're going to cover today is the invention of the mechanical clock. So let's find out. In Europe, paragraph 1. In Europe, before the introduction of the mechanical clock, people told time by sun by looking at the sun. For example, shadow sticks or sundials, and water clocks. So sun clocks and water clocks. Sun clocks worked, of course, only on clear days. Yeah, so before mechanical clock, sun clock and water clocks. And obviously, the disadvantages are sun clocks works only on sunny days because it's sun clock. Water clocks work in the water. Water clocks misbehaved when the temperature fell towards freezing. Yeah, I was right? So when the water becomes ice. So when the temperature goes down too much, below zero, I guess, then it wouldn't work well. To say nothing of long run drift as the result of sedimentation and clogging because it's water. In these situations, it would not work very well. Plus, when the temperature fell so low that waters become ice, then it wouldn't work very well. Okay, both these devices, sun clock and water clocks, work well in sunny climates and not so cold climates. But in Northern Europe, they're obviously very cold and some cloudy days, I guess. In Northern Europe, the sun may be hidden by clouds, so for weeks at a time, for a long time in a row. While temperature vary, not only seasonally, but from day to night. So, at night, it may be very cold. And during the day, temperature goes up by quite a bit. Then it would work pretty well during the day, but it would not work very well at night because it's too cold, right? Yeah. Question. Bring it on. Why does author provide information? It's a supporting detail of how, sun clock would not work very well if it's not sunny. And the water clock would not work very well if the temperature decreases so much, right? And it's an example of that. So in Northern Europe, they still used it probably. It doesn't say they did not use it, okay? In Europe, people told time by sun and water clocks, but in Northern Europe may have these problems, okay? All right, A, to emphasize the variety of environment in which people use the sun and water clocks to tell time. This is not correct because A is essentially saying, people used sun clock under this environmental situations to different weather conditions, and water clocks were used in different situations and different climate. It's not talking about that, okay? It's saying the limitation of using sun clock or water clock in Northern Europe, for example, because of these situations. So it's not talking about the variety, right? The problems. To illustrate the disadvantage, the problems of sun and water clocks, yeah. So it shows disadvantages, right? Okay, under this condition, it would not work very well. That's a disadvantage. see, to provide an example of an area where water clock have an advantage of a sun clock. So does it say in Northern Europe, water clock works better than sun clock? No. Okay. D. To counter the claim, it's not countering the claim at all, so it's already wrong, but let's read on. The sun and water clocks were used all over Europe. So, this is trying to say the sun and water clocks were not used in Northern Europe, only Southern Europe. Does this sentence say that? Absolutely not. Okay, so answer is B. Question 1, B. Moving right along. Question 2. According to paragraph 2, why did medieval church need an alarm arrangement? Okay. So medieval church, I guess Catholic Church, needed an alarm. Why? Paragraph 2. Medieval Europe gave new importance to reliable time. They needed an alarm. But why? The Catholic Church had its 7 daily prayers, okay, one of which was at night, needed an alarm to waken monks before dawn. Okay, so since one of the 7 daily prayers were at night, they needed alarm to waken monks before dawn at night to attend daily prayers, one of 7 daily prayers at night, right? That's the answer. Let's go on, keep reading. And then the new cities and towns, squeezed by their walls, had to know and all the time in order to organize collective activity and ration space. So they were squeezed by the walls. So they had to know the time for, group activities and place where they can get food. They set a time to go to sleep, okay? Because they squeezed by the walls. They needed to know what time it is to set time for sleeping, time to go to bed. All this was compatible with all the device. So you could do this with sun or water clocks, so long as there was only one authoritative timekeeper. You could use sun or water clock, but you needed like one formal and decisive official timekeeper, but there is none, right? Because different people or different places, like even say, like what I'm trying to say is there cannot be one official timekeeper when you use sun or water clocks, because even though they use the sun, 10 people use the sun, they may tell time differently, depend on where they are or how they see them. So it is not possible to have like one reliable source to tell the right time. If you use the sun or water clock, it's not possible, right? Understand? Yeah, I hope so. I think I explained it clear enough, right? But with urban growth and multiplication of time signals, see? Right? Multiple, not one. Discrepancies, yeah. Wrong because it's different. That's discrepancy, right? So if me and my friend looked at the sun to tell the time, and the time I'm telling and my friend is telling is different, then that difference is discrepancy. And discrepancy will happen. So, yeah, so like, or you need like only one person or one official timekeeper to tell the time to everyone. But that wouldn't be possible, right? discrepancy will happen, right? Broad discord and strife, argument, contradiction, people getting angry. Society needed more dependable instrument, like a machine, a tool, okay, of time measurement, and found it in a mechanical clock, right? Okay, so they do have one authoritative timekeeper now. That is mechanical clock as one machine, okay? So you can rely on one timekeeper. Okay, so why church needed an alarm? Alarm warned the monks of discord, strife in the temple. So alarm let monks know what troubles they have. No, it's just B. The church was responsible for regulating working hours and market hours. No. The church. Answer the question. The alarm was needed in case fire. Fire! Okay. So alarm is set whenever there is a fire. So sprinkler can work in Middle Ages. No. Okay. Fire alarm? No way. One of the church's daily ritual, daily prayers, 7 prayers. One of them occurred at night. So they needed an alarm to wake the monks up during the night, because one of the daily prayers were during the night. D. So question 2, D. Question 3, authoritative is like one official, one you can rely on, one proper, one formal timekeeper. Okay, not actual, not important. It's not the matter of importance or less importance. It's like one official, one proper, one set timekeeper. It's not about being effective or ineffective. Okay, that's not the issue. So question 3, C. Question 4. Yep. Paragraph 3. We do not know who invented this machine. Wow, really? Or where? Pretty remarkable. It seems to have appeared in Italy and England. We think so. Seems to be. Between 1275 and 1300. So 700-800 years ago, it was created. Once now, it spread rapidly. So once mechanical clock was known to public, to society, it spread rapidly. Driving out water clock, okay, fair enough. But not solar dials, not sun clock. Okay, why not? Which were needed, so comma which, so we're describing solar dials. So solar dials, sun clocks, were needed to do what? To check new machines, okay. To check mechanical clock against the timekeeper of last resort, okay. So timekeeper of last resort is the sun clock, solar dials here, okay. So timekeeper of last source, when everything else fails, every other method becomes not available anymore. What is the timekeeper of the last resort? Okay, last source is the sun clock. Okay, so the mechanical clock needed to be checked checked based on the last available source of time, which is solar dials, sun clock. So they kept one other method of telling the time. Question 4. Author uses the phrase timekeeper of last resort to refer what does this refer to? Sun clock, right? Let's move on. 4, answer is B. Question 5, paragraph 4. Halfway already. Let's read paragraph 4. Ironically, okay, actually, not to get caught out, let's read this last part of paragraph 3 first. These early versions, so early versions of mechanical clock, were basic, inaccurate, and prone to breakdown. So it broke down a lot, not correct, and very basic. Okay, so how does the mechanical clock gets improved? I want to know. Ironically, it is ironic. Okay, what's ironic? The new machine tend to undermine Catholic Church authority. Really? Yeah. Okay, I want to know why. So undermine means make something weaker, make something lower, okay, not as good, or make it weaker, okay. So mechanical clock tend to make Catholic Church power weaker. Why and how? Okay. Although church ritual had sustained an interest, a church ritual daily prayer of 7 times, okay, has sustained an interest in timekeeping, so sustained the interest in knowing the exact time throughout the centuries of urban collapse that followed the fall of Rome. So although Catholic Church wanted to know the exact time to do 7 prayers, but church time was nature's time. So time was based on sun and water and just known naturally, not by looking at a tool, okay, machine. Day and nights were divided into the same number of parts so that, except at equinoxes, so day and nights were divided into the same number of parts naturally under the sun or by the water, so that except at the equinoxes, equinox is scientifically the day that has exactly 50% day and 50% night. Okay, that's equinoxes. Okay, so except on this day and night hours were unequal. Of course, because you're looking at the sun to know the time. And in summer, sun stays longer. So night would be shorter. So it would not be the same because you rely on the nature to tell time. Okay, yeah. And then, of course, the length of these hours varied with the seasons. Yeah, so not just the day. Every day it's different. Some days you have longer day. Some days you have longer night, but it changes based on seasons as well, you know, summer and winter. But the mechanical clock kept equal hours, right? Mechanical clock, you know, don't rely on nature to tell time. So, you know, 12 hours day, 12 hours night, you know, it's based on 24-hour system. Okay, so they keep the equal hours regardless of the day or regardless of the season. Okay, it's like math, right? And this implied a new time reckoning. Yeah, so new system of time, moving away from the nature's time to like equal hours of day and night. Okay, so it implied change. The Catholic Church resisted. So Catholic Church wanted to keep their style, keep their standard. They don't want to lose that authority. Not coming over to new hours for about a century. So they try not to accept. They wanted to keep their standard, to keep their authority for about 100 years. Okay? But ultimately, they, you know, accepted mechanical clock because they're saying not coming over for about a century. So after a century, they came over. But at first, they try not to accept mechanical clock because they have to change their standard. Okay, that means their authority is going down. From the start, however, the towns and cities, so other than the church, took equal hours as their standard. So they accepted mechanical clock, 24-hour scale, for example. And the public clocks installed, put in town halls, so you could see the clocks in town halls, and market squares became the very symbol of new secular. So secular is more like society-driven, non-religious, okay? Not square, circular, okay? And municipal authority means like regional government, local government, okay? So the mechanical clock and time, okay, became a new non-religious regional government symbol, right? Standard, new standard. Every town wanted one. Conquerors seized them as especially precious spoils of war. Tourists came to see and hear these machines the way as though they made pilgrimage to sacred relics. So it's giving details how much they wanted one, okay? So if you're like a conqueror, okay, if you're the king who won the war and you could take the clocks from the land you just conquered, they did, right? They wanted a mechanical clock. And tourists came to place to see and hear this mechanical clock. They wanted one. Like they made a pilgrimage to, you know, look at like holy objects. Yeah, they really wanted one. Let's go. Paragraph 4. Question 5. According to paragraph 4, how did Catholic Church react to introduction? They resisted for first 100 years because they don't want to lose the authority. It used mechanical clock through the period of urban collapse? No. It used clocks to better understand natural phenomena? No. Right? So mechanical clock, relying on nature's time, two separate things, right? C, it tried to preserve its own method, so not using the mechanical clock, but nature's time. They tried to keep, right? So paraphrased of resisted, right? Resisted means they try to preserve, they try to keep, right? Their own style of keeping time, not mechanical clock, which was different from mechanical clock. Yeah. D, it used mechanical clock to challenge secular town authorities. They didn't challenge anything. Okay. All right, question 5, answer C. Question 6, install just means like put in, put inside, or put in place, right? So like, for example, install software in your computer. That's install. Installation, install. You install it. You install furniture in your apartment. That's install. So, put in place. Okay. And other words, if you put in, if you knew what install mean, it doesn't make sense at all. Okay. So question 6, D. All right, next. Come on. It can be inferred from paragraph 5 that medieval clockmakers, okay, let's read paragraph 5. The clock was the greatest achievement of medieval mechanical ingenuity. Wow, okay, so it was big deal, great achievement of medieval mechanical cleverness, ideas, greatest achievement, okay, of their mechanical ability. Its general accuracy could be checked against easily observed phenomena. We just read that in previous paragraph, okay? So they often check based on the sun. Like rising and setting of the sun, the result was relentless. Relentless means like without a break, continuing, okay? Not stopping, okay? So continuous, relentless pressure to improve technique and design, okay? At every stage, clockmakers, here we go, keyword, led the way, so they were leaders, to accuracy and precision. So clockmakers tried to make the mechanical clock more accurate and exact. They became masters of what? Of miniaturization. So I guess making a smaller clocks as well, making something small. So taking something big into smaller version. Detectors, trying to find things out. Correctors of error, so find error and correct them. And searchers for new and better. Okay, so they were like masters of these things. So make the clocks newer and better. Better design, better technique, more accuracy, making it smaller. Okay, they were thus the pioneers, same thing, leaders, right? Pioneers, like trailblazers. So they were leading, they were leaders of mechanical engineering, right? The whole mechanical engineering, the clockmakers were the leaders of the industry and served as examples for people to follow and teachers to learn from, to other branches of engineering, not just the clock. They were so advanced. They were masters of these things. They were leaders and examples and teachers for the whole engineering field, okay? Whole mechanical engineering field, right? Sorry, my throat, it dried a bit. Okay, so what can you infer? We're able to, so infer means we may have to objectively infer. So there will be clearly evidence in this paragraph to make the objectively right conclusion. That would be one of the answer choice. So you cannot just subjectively infer, because there would be whatever, and there would be no right answer. So you have to be objectively infer, which means the reason for your inference must come out from this paragraph objectively, okay? A, we're able to continually make improvements in the accuracy of mechanical clock. Yeah, they would be able to, because they were masters of corrector of error, and they really worked hard to make it more accurate, okay? So, yeah, I think they were able to do that because, yeah, that's what they did. So it's almost factual question, isn't it? Right? So, like this part is the answer. Okay. Clockmakers led the way to accuracy and precision. They become masters of detectors and correctors of error. So that's implying it's almost like same as this sentence, right? But this makes it not explicitly the same. Okay. B, were sometimes not well respected. Not the answer. Sometimes made claims about the accuracy of the mechanical clock that were not true. This answer choice is not true. Rarely shared their expertise. No, they were pioneers and also teachers and examples of the whole mechanical engineering industry, right? So they did share. So rarely is wrong. So answer is A. Question 7, A. Question, just to make sure. Question A, according to paragraph 6, what way did the mechanical clock affect labor? Okay, so mechanical clock affected the labor in what way? Okay, paragraph 6, let's go. The clock brought order and control, okay, but how did it affect labor? Both collective and personal, both for the whole group and for an individual. It's public display, like say in town hall, and private position, having like a small clock in their pocket, laid the basis for temporal autonomy. Temporal related to time. Okay, so they were independent. They were free of time-related issue because they could see what time, exactly what time it was. Okay, what does that mean? People could now coordinate comings and goings without dictation from above. Okay, they could make their own decision, right? When to go, when to come, because they knew what time it was. So they had their freedom. The clock provided the punctuation marks for the group activity. Yeah, make people punctual, I guess, right? So let's say we start at 5, come at 5, or come by 4:55. Don't be late. You can say that because everybody can see the clock, use the clock to know what time exactly it was. So people can be more punctual while enabling individual to order their own work and that of others based on time. Okay, so I work between 2 to 5. Okay, or I order people to work from 3 to 6. Okay, yeah. So as to enhance productivity, because people work based on time, right? So you have to finish a certain amount of work in 3 hours, or from 2 to 5, you have to finish this. Indeed, the very notion of productivity, so the meaning of the word or concept of the productivity, is byproduct, result of the clock. What does it mean? Sorry, typo. I apologize. One can, yeah, I'll write it again. Okay, once one can relate performance to uniform time units, work is never the same. Okay, so I'll explain what this means. Very notion, so meaning, definition of productivity is a result of the time, result of the clock, right? Because productivity basically means based on same time period, uniform means same, okay? So based on same time period, so within 1 hour, how much you can produce, how much you can perform, how much outcome you can create is the meaning of productivity, okay? Right? So based on same time, so within 1 hour, within 60 minutes, my performance is to make 10 pens. And my friend, my coworker, based on 60 minutes, based on 1 hour, within 1 hour, his performance, my friend, is to make 5 pens. Then I am more productive than my friend, right? So this is what this sentence means. So productivity is enhanced. That's an effect on labor. Because productivity is a concept that is based on time, basically. Okay. So work is never the same. Okay. So the main idea of this part is, so therefore, it increased productivity. Okay. All right. One moves from task-oriented time consciousness. So people were task-oriented, not time-oriented or outcome-oriented or productivity-oriented. Okay. So one moves from task-oriented time consciousness of the patient and the time-filling business of the domestic servant who always has something to do, to an effort to maximize product per unit of time. let me explain this. So it's from, so just understand English really quickly, and I'll go into a little more detail, right? So one moved from task-oriented time consciousness and time-filling business to maximizing product per unit of time. What is this? Productivity. That is explained above. Right? Okay, so they moved from task-oriented and time-filling business to maximize product output per same time period, certain unit of time period. Understand? So this is productivity. So they moved from task-oriented and filling the time to trying to increase the productivity. And let's read it and really appreciate this sentence a little bit more detail. Let's comprehend word for word. So one moved from task-oriented time consciousness of the patient, working on the job after another as time and life permit, right? So like at what time, what do I do? What task I do at certain time? And the time-filling business of the domestic servant means who always has something to do. So what work? Yeah, same thing, really. Okay, so to fill the time, what do I do during this time? So that was the focus of the labor. Okay, like what work I do, and during what time I don't rest. Okay, like how do I fill the time with what kind of work I do? So that was previous concept of labor. To how much effort I put in, how I can put my effort in to produce more based on given time. So the focus was changed to more quantity I produce, okay, more output I create, more outcome I make based on given time. Okay, based on the unit of time, 1 hour, 2 hours, okay? So focus became more productivity, okay? From what work I do and yeah, how long I do to achieving more productivity. Yeah, little hard, but not too much, okay? I'm sure you understood clearly. Okay, so we've done question 7. Yeah, we did. Question 8. According to paragraph 6, how did mechanical clock affect labor? It made people focus on more productivity, right? Or maximizing output for given time. A, it encouraged workers to do more time-filling busy work. So that's this one I mentioned. So that's from. So it's not the answer. We need this as an answer. So this was before. Okay. So that's not answering the question. Okay, B, it enabled workers to be more task-oriented, exactly opposite, right? So B is this one here. So it's from. Okay, answer is after 2. Right? Okay, C, it pushed workers to work more hours every day. Not really. Okay, I mean, logically, you might be tricked to think that, you know, like you might take one more step and trying to interpret your own way and say like, oh, if you want to make more output, then maybe you need to work more. But that's not what the passage says? Passage says they focus on to put effort to maximize the output, maximize the product, not to work more hours at all. Okay? So answer the question and only comprehend, only understand what is written in the passage. Okay? So it's not about work more hours or less hours, right? So D better be the answer. It led to focus on productivity. Very simple. Okay? So you needed to understand this last part of the last sentence here is referring to productivity. You needed to know that. Okay? Yeah. And productivity is written in this part. Right? Yeah. Okay. I don't think I can say any more. Like, I love to help you understand even clearer, but that's all I can do. Okay, I explored every avenues. Okay, to help you understand. Okay, question 9. Look at the 4 squares that indicate where the following sentence can be added. So, which spot out of 4 squares it should be added to make the paragraph flow and logically sound. Okay, let's read this sentence. The division of time, so maybe something about the division of time is mentioned previous to this sentence, okay, maybe, because it says the, right? The division of time no longer reflected the organization of religious ritual. Okay, so division of time, no longer. So probably before, division of time reflected the organization of religious ritual, how they organize daily prayers. Division of time reflected that, but it no longer did. Okay? Yeah, so let's go. We're back to paragraph 4. Ironically, the new machine tended to undermine Catholic Church authority. Why? Although church ritual has sustained an interest in timekeeping, church time was nature's time. So division of time no longer, it's too much of a jump. Okay. Day and night were divided into the same number of parts so that day and night hours were unequal. Okay. And then, of course, the lengths of these hours varied with the seasons. The division of time no longer reflected organization of religious ritual. Not yet. Okay. Something has to happen so that division of time no longer reflect the organization of religious ritual. But if we put it here, it doesn't make sense because, it doesn't have any sentence to say something changed, so division of time no longer reflected above, right? So I like third square already. So something happened that made division of time no longer reflected, okay? But the mechanical clock kept equal hours. And this implied new time reckoning. So division of time previously done by Catholic Church no longer reflected the organization of religious ritual because we have new system now, right? Okay, so we don't divide the time like day and night that are unequal, okay? We keep equal hours now, okay? On the new system. So the division of time no longer reflected how things are done in Catholic Church, based on nature's time. They need to follow different system. So it should be here, okay? But let's just check fourth square. The Catholic Church resisted not coming over about a century. Yeah, so it's third, okay? Mechanical clock kept equal hours, so division of time of day and night on equal hours, no longer. They had to follow the equal hours system. Yeah, so it should be third square, C. Cool. Let's just check this sentence just in case. I mean, fourth is wrong by reading this part. Makes no sense, but just to double check. From the start, however, the towns and cities took equal hours as their stand. Yeah, it's wrong. Okay. It should be after this sentence. They resisted, but outside of the church didn't resist. Okay. They used it right away. So not fourth. Okay, last question. So question 9, C or third? Last question, question 10. An introductory sentence for a brief summary of the passage is provided below. So what is the brief summary? Let's read it out together. The introduction of mechanical clock caused important changes. So what are the changes? To the society of medieval Europe. Okay, so it caused some important changes. So what caused it? And what changes? Complete the summary by selecting 3 answer choices. So we choose 3 right answer choices that express the most important ideas in the passage. So they are the right answers. Some sentences do not belong in the summary. So what are the wrong answer choices? Because they express ideas that are not presented in the passage. So it's not mentioned or wrong information, of course. Or they're simply minor detail, not the main ideas or not the most important ideas. Okay? Then they are wrong answers. Let's go. Increasing complexity of social and economic activity in medieval Europe led to need for a more dependent means of keeping time than sun and water clock provided. Yeah. First paragraph. Okay. So if you go back to first paragraph, a second paragraph, sorry. Okay. Because of the let's actually go back. I don't like going back and forth because I'm just afraid you might find it difficult to follow the video, but I think it's important. We have to do it. Okay. So they need to do all these functions to know the time. Okay. But with urban growth and multiplication of time signals, discrepancy, so like wrong time differences in time, not one authority timekeeper telling you the correct time. So multiple discrepancies of time differences, and with urban growth, okay, brought a lot of troubles. So society needed more dependable time instrument, okay, due to urban growth and these discrepancies. So increasing complexity of social and economic activity in medieval Europe growth led to need for a dependable time than sun and water clocks provided. So mainly paragraph 2, a little bit of paragraph 1 as well. So definitely a main idea. Okay, P. because they were unreliable even in sunny climate. It said like under the sunny climate, they could use it. It was accurate. Okay, so I don't like B already. Okay, it said it worked pretty well under the sunny weather. Sun clock and water clocks were rarely used in Europe. It was used before the introduction of mechanical clock. Okay, so this is totally wrong. And paragraph 1 proves B is wrong. Before the mechanical clock, C, every city, I don't like it already. There was no mentioning of like every city. Before the mechanical clock, every city wanted a large number of time. No, they wanted just one authoritative timekeeper. They didn't want many timekeepers in the first place. Okay, so that was paragraph 4. Was it 3? 2? Let me find it actually and tell you. I don't want to go back. It's paragraph 2. Okay, all right. So paragraph 2 proves C is the wrong answer. They didn't want large number of timekeepers. Okay. Soon after the invention of mechanical clock, sun and water became obsolete, outdated, like old-fashioned in negative connotation. Because mechanical clock were far more accurate. No, at first, it's paragraph 3, right? Last sentence. It says, these early versions of mechanical clock it's referring to were rudimentary, inaccurate, and prone to breakdown. So it was not accurate from the beginning, okay? As soon as introduction, right? So D is wrong because soon after invention of mechanical clock, sun and water clock became obsolete. And also, sun did not become obsolete. They kept on using the sun to check as a last resort, right? So this is wrong also. Because mechanical clock were far more accurate. No, at first, and there's no mentioning of this. Okay, so it's clear now. I'll stop. Sorry. Okay, E, because it's so clear, it's very wrong answer choice, right? So I don't see much point going on and bored you. I hope not. E, although society in general was quick to adopt the mechanical clock, yeah, the Catholic Church paragraph. Okay, however, the society adapted right away. The Catholic Church resisted for about a century. Resisted because they lose their authority. The mechanical clock undermined Catholic Church's authority. Challenged? Yeah. So that was paragraph 4, right? Let me quickly go back, but it's very simple. This paragraph here, okay? So they resisted for about a century because mechanical clock undermined Catholic Church's authority. But other than church, right, from the start, the towns and cities, okay, however, unlike Catholic Church, towns and cities took equal hours, refers to mechanical clock, as their standard, okay? So they accept it right away. So E is the right answer. So F better be right. We got A as the right answer, E as the right answer. So we need one more, okay? So let's go, last one, hopefully. Clockmakers introduced precision engineering. Okay, clockmakers, they were the leaders, pioneers. They always worked to make it more accurate, okay? Introduced precision engineering, yeah, they led the whole mechanical engineering field. They were, leading their way to make it more accurate and precise, right? So they introduced precision engineering, and their clocks gave individual and groups, collective and person, more control, more autonomy over organization of their activity. Yeah. Where is that? It's a little bit of paragraph 5, I guess, but indirectly, because these people made it more accurate, but mainly it's paragraph 6, right? Lay the basis for temporal autonomy. People could now coordinate coming and going without dictation from above, okay? Or even a little bit here, before enhancing productivity, okay? The clock provided punctuation marks for group activity while enabling individual to order their own work in their own way, right? So this part here, make this a clear answer, right? Sorry if I'm blabbing on. I'm just trying to be very detailed to help you understand clearly, okay? So sorry, I'm blabbing on a bit too long. It's not my intention. Clockmakers introduced precision engineering, a little bit of paragraph 5, and their clock gave individual and groups more autonomy over how they do things. Paragraph 6, right? A little bit of paragraph 5 and a little bit of paragraph 6, main idea. Okay, so there you have it. Answer is A, E, F. E came from paragraph 4. Yeah, so answer is A, E, F. Okay, so that was the question 10. So that's it for today, this lecture of TOEFL reading. I hope you found it useful and learned something and feeling more confident. Let's keep on working. Let's keep working hard and let's improve together, okay? I really appreciate watching this video and studying with me. So I'll come back with another great TOEFL video and let's study together in our next video. Thank you for watching. Bye. Have a great day.